listeners, Britt Milazzo back with Bellefonte Area School District. Thanks for checking into our latest podcast. We're here at the end of April, and if you can believe it, already wrapping up with, I think, the 7th week since the governor initially called for the physical closure of school back in March. And while this whole shutdown is starting to feel like the new normal, we still know that it can be stressful and uneasy as we continue to make this adjustment in this new lifestyle with other things like managing work and school and kids. And everything else. Believe me when I say sometimes my head explodes just thinking about it, but we understand, and that's why we're here. And that, too, is why joining me today are Maria McClatchy, Sarah Mays, social workers out of Central Intermediate Unit 10, but who serve Bellefonte Area School District in that capacity. And we're just going to take some time to chat about ways to manage everything that's going on, and also talk about some of those services available. You know, I know so often we shoot out information from the CDC and the Department of Health, but we also know local resources are sometimes far more valuable. So ladies, I really appreciate you both joining me here this morning.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love having new people on as well. I think this is your first time on my podcast, so welcome. For anybody who doesn't know what your work is, I guess explain a little bit about what you do as a social worker.
Okay, that's my favorite thing to talk about is school social work, so I'm glad to do it. My name is Maria McClatchy, and I'm a school social worker, and I spend most of my week this school year at Bellefonte, well, virtually nowadays. But school social workers support all students in accessing the quality education that they deserve. We work as a link between the school, families in the home, and everything that's available as supports in the community. So a big part of our job is to stay informed on local resources, on what's available in the area, so that people are able to really take advantage of what's around them. We kind of act as a hub of information and things like that. One of the things that I really like about school social work is that we are kind of a jack of all trades. So we are trained mental health professionals, but we get involved in all different areas. Anything that is going to be helpful in addressing barriers to students taking advantage of their education. So if something is getting in the way of a student coming to school, of feeling safe and welcome at school, of managing stress or anxiety, making meaningful relationships at school, those are the areas that we work in.
And Sarah, how do you serve our school? I know Maria said she's at the elementary level for the most part. What about you?
I am at Bellefonte one day a week, and I serve the high school community. So I do everything that in school social work that Maria discussed as well, just at the high school level.
Okay. Gotcha. And you said one day a week. What day usually do you work with our students and work with our schools? Or does that vary?
Wednesdays.
Okay, Wednesdays. Gotcha. And obviously, we're in this kind of unprecedented time with this COVID-19 pandemic, and I think it makes so many people uneasy, especially those wanting to talk to their families about coronavirus. I know that can probably come up in the household. What tips do you have for that kind of discussion?
And you might hear the little rustle of papers because I didn't want to miss anything, so I typed out some notes.
Oh, not a problem. The more information, the better.
Yes, I think I have a few things that can be helpful. It's important to focus on being truthful and factual. So sharing accurate information, whether you're talking to kids or adults, making sure that you have information from solid sources and trying to share those facts in an age-appropriate way. So we want to give enough information that our young people know that they're in the loop and know that they're worth having information about what's going on in the world, but not so much that it's overwhelming. Even for us as grown-ups, we might just need to take as much information as we need in order to be safe and be responsible, but we don't need to be overwhelming ourselves with information all the time. I think it's really helpful and really meaningful whenever we're talking with someone, peers or especially children, that we acknowledge how we're feeling about the situation too. So being able to tell someone, hey, this is not something that I've ever lived through before, and it is weird, or sometimes I do worry, just being genuine about those emotions, just really normalizes that this is so unusual and unprecedented, and it's okay to talk about the facts and to talk about our feelings about it together. So we really want to set a good example and model that that this is a weird time and that we want to address it. Reassuring kids that they are safe is important, and talking with them about some of the ways that your family is staying safe and being healthy and responsible. And a lot of those things that they're doing are things that they are used to doing, washing their hands. And it's a little strange when we go outside and see people wearing masks, but when we can reassure that this is people trying to make a difference, this is people being responsible, and we can be part of that too, that can be really helpful. So talking about the action steps that we're taking and things that we can do, even the little things, those are really important. And there's a few different websites and different links and stuff like that that we can share more about talking with kids. There are little activities to do with kids, and I like those a lot.
Just to add on to one thing that Maria said, build on to what she said, the idea that, both physical and emotional safety are so important, and everything that she said. And also, there's so many different thoughts and opinions out there that I know that students are getting confused and not knowing what to believe. So just explaining to your student, this is the information that we're listening to, and this is what we're doing to keep safe. And there are a lot of opinions out there, but I feel safe and secure in the decision that I made to keep you safe, because there's so much going on out there. Everyone is just confused.
Oh, sure. No, thanks for clarifying that and explaining that more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so many families too are trying to maintain this routine and a schedule, and we can be we know that can be hard. Do you also have advice for families trying to manage all that?
So I know we talk a lot about routines, and trying to maintain as much normalcy of a normal day when you were getting up and going to school and everybody was going to work. Try to get yourself up at a certain time, eat breakfast at the same time, get dressed, do those little things that make you keep going in the same way. We help keep ourselves grounded a lot, and our body and our emotions, keeping those same normal rhythms. So the more we can keep going doing that, the more positive it will be for us.
Sure, you talk about normalcy.
Yes, mm-hmm. Yes, as much as possible in these times, for sure.
I think one area that can be really helpful for routine is bedtime, and that goes for both kids and adults. And when we talk about routine, we don't necessarily mean everything has to be done exactly the way it was before, and you have to stick to this schedule. You have to pick arbitrary times for things and then not waver from them. Routine is something that gives us structure and a pace to our day. And the routine, obviously we have to add in what's priorities for us. So if we have adults working in the home, students with their schoolwork, we prioritize what we need to do and when we need to do it throughout the day. And then we can add in those elements and really create the rest of the routine full of things that are healthy for us and comforting for us and that work for us. So we do have some of an opportunity to really make the routine work for us. So I would encourage everybody, when you're working on establishing a routine, or if you decide you need to adjust it, just look at how it's working for you, because that's who it's for. It's there to help you. Bedtime is a really great time to focus on connection with people. If you have the family together, reading together at bedtime, doing activities that kind of slow down the pace of the day and give people an opportunity to be reassuring to each other, just to be near each other and enjoy that time. Or if it works better for you, bedtime might also be a little bit of a good time for some downtime or alone time, just some quiet. So I'm just looking around for those times during the day when you'd like to invest meaningfully in either time alone, time together, and talking about some of those things. So sometimes when a family is establishing a routine, if you can be collaborative about it and kind of discuss what different people might need throughout the day, that would be really great. And then it suits the needs of the family a lot. Sure. Do you have anything to add to that, Sarah?
No, I think you definitely got it. I know we had on our list too, just talking about, for some people, myself, I'm a morning person, so I function better in the morning. So I got to get up, get my stuff done, and then at nighttime, like, no. But other people do really well in the afternoon and the evening. So, being able to identify that within your family, like what works best for us, what do we need to be doing? But that's one, I guess you could say, positive of this experience is, you get to set some of those standards for yourself. They're not set for you, so.
Sure, and I love that you're looking at the positives of all this. Yeah, the silver lining. No, you nailed it right on the head. And I know I so often, myself included, I just keep hearing, this is a new lifestyle, this is a new lifestyle, this is the new normal. But just exactly how you said is, if you establish some kind of routine, it may not seem like such a bad adjustment after all. But we still know, when you're at home with everybody all day long, some frustrations do come up. What are some ways that families can address those?
So we talked about the idea of taking breaks from media, like only watching a certain amount of time. Don't overload yourself on that, because have your daily dose of news and then remove yourself from that. Back to the basics, the food, sleep, all the things that we kind of just covered. Finding those, what we call personal medicine, things you do for yourself that keep you well. Whether the weather's getting nice, or are you going to do a garden, or do you like to cook, coloring, reading a book, just, sitting down and exploring with your family. What are those things that we all like to do, and individually, what do we like to do? Being able to identify and express your feelings. It's okay if you're feeling frustrated. It is absolutely okay if you feel scared. It's okay if you feel overwhelmed because your whole family is here and you're not used to that. Being able to identify the places to have me time. And it's okay to say, I'm going for a walk, and if the whole family decides they're going to go with you, I think I need to go by myself this time. It's okay to say that and have those conversations ahead of time, to be open with each other.
Because I really like that you mentioned having those conversations ahead of time, because when there are a lot of opportunities to feel stress and frustration, kind of being cooped up or dealing with our computer all day, if that's an aspect of working from home, if we're already frustrated and then we try to express an idea or a plan, that can be kind of tough. So an opportunity, when the family is talking together and everybody is pretty relaxed, could be a time to bounce around some ideas of, hey, I've been thinking I need some me time lately, and maybe you all do too. Maybe let's sketch out a little plan for that. Or heads up, if I ever say I need to go for a walk just by myself, that's because that's what I need for me. That is not because of any other reasons, not because I'm mad at anybody or whatever. It's just because that's what I need to keep me filled up. So talking about those ahead of time and just reassuring everybody, adults and kids in the house, that it is a good and important and okay thing to say what you need, even if it might be unexpected or even if it's different than something you said before. So those conversations are always good, and I would encourage people to have them at a time when you really do have a chance to talk it through and kind of preempt some of those opportunities of stress and frustration.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Go on.
I'll just give you an example of something we incorporated at my house. I have a little whiteboard with a magnet on the back, and it's on our fridge. So a lot of times we'll put different phrases up there, but one that's stuck is, what's important for me today? and everyone adds something. So I'm waiting to see if it holds true. Mine today was, it's important for mom to get through her podcast with no interruptions. So we'll see what happens. But it does seem to work if we're writing those little things down there and then everybody walks by and sees it and thinks, okay, let's give them that time or that space or what they need. So.
Well, it's working well so far, so that was a good one. Now, what are some ways adults at home can manage their own stress, especially when they feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders? I know you mentioned some things, but what else would you suggest?
Just more of that personal medicine, the exercise, getting outside. We have we follow this. We have a self-care wheel that we can share with anybody that might be interested. Just finding different ideas for yourself to calm down. There's access to, if you're struggling, there's a lot of stuff going on that parents are dealing with right now. The unemployment bills, just all the different things. You can reach out to your school social worker. We would be glad to help you and connect you to services that might be helpful. There's the mental health 24/7 warm line now. It's not a crisis line. It's just someone to talk to. Finding different ways to connect to your friends or your people, your connections. Zoom chats with friends is a really popular thing now.
See, there are a lot of support groups that are still meeting virtually, so we can share a list of those. So if anyone was taking advantage of those support groups before and is concerned that they won't have the opportunity to participate in that anymore, there's a lot that is still going on. So most of the things that we had access to as supportive measures for the well-being of our adults, those are still in place some way, somehow. Sometimes we have to just kind of look for them a little bit, and that's something that Sarah and I are very happy to do. If there's a resource or a group that, or some type of information that someone's interested in, please don't hesitate to ask, just because things are a little bit different now. So we still are able to find what we need, and we're happy to work with you on that.
Sure. So how can families reach out to you if needed? Do you go through the school, or is the way to contact you personally? Explain a little bit about that.
My work cell phone is the best way to get in touch with me. You can call me. It's 814-592-0757. I'm going to say it again. It's 814-592-0757. You can just give me a call, and if I, for some reason, don't pick up, please leave me a message with your name and number, because I don't want to miss you. You can also email me at mmcclatchey@ciu10.org. Both of those are great ways to get in touch. And I check my phone and email a bajillion times a day. So you'll get me.
Sure.
Same for me. You can reach me on my cell phone. It's 814-577-0569. 814-577-0569. And my email is smays, S-M-A-Y-S, at ciu10.org. And I know Maria feels the same way. If you reach out to me, I don't answer, please leave a message. But if you feel like you have an immediate need, contact Maria. If you can't get Maria, contact me. Between the two of us, one of us will be back in touch with you. We talk all the time. We work together, so.
For sure.
And in terms of the services you provide, how do you continue, even though school is physically out, how do you continue to work with the district and Bellefonte area families in need through this time? Can you explain that as well?
Well, we both spend a lot of time on the phone and on video chat with people, so we're still very much in touch. I've been on the phone with families, emailing back and forth, just checking in. I love there have been some people that have reached out, and that just feels awesome to me. I love to hear from people. If you have questions, I love if everything's just going fine and you just want to let me know. That's a treat as well. I've been video chatting with some students, which is delightful to be able to still be available in that way because I just miss everybody and being around students. I work very closely with the school teams, especially at Bellefonte Elementary. That's kind of where I'm housed, so you can find me downtown, I guess, when we're all back in session. But so I check in with the team very regularly, and we communicate and work together. If someone chats with a teacher or another member of the team and expresses that they have a question or they need something or they'd like to talk to me, that's another way to get in touch as well too. So there's not really a wrong way or a wrong time to reach out.
Sure, and before we wrap this all up as well, we talked a little bit about some of those resources. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what other resources are available, maybe where people can find that? And of course, too, on our end, if we don't provide everything in this podcast, we will have some sort of website out there where we can provide the community with even more of that. But I just was hoping you guys can explain, more specifically what resources out there, especially here in Center County, that people can use.
So we can kind of start going down with the different topics of the resources. And Marie, please jump in. Like we can take this one on together. We start with obviously basic needs. So food. There's a lot of food resources out there specific to Center County. We talk a lot about if you need help with unemployment. There's so many questions there. We can try to connect you to getting answers. I know that's really frustrating for a lot of people right now. Employment, if you're looking for a job, for jobs that are hiring during this time, we can connect you to that. Utility assistance, mental health and crisis support services. I think we have some veteran resources on our list, childcare, diapers, needs like that, emergency dentists, emergency eye care, helping connecting and finding these things through your health insurance or other things they're going on out there, or payments for such things. So I'm not sure if I missed anything. I'm sure I did, but it's all.
No, that was really good. Okay. Yeah, we try and just share any information possible. So all of those things about covering the basics. We also are trying to maintain updated information on counseling providers that are doing over the phone or video conference counseling. So that service is still available, even though most people aren't in the offices. What else do we have? The school is a really great hub for all of those things. I know Bellefonte is just doing such great work with their lunch programs as well. There's so many sites to be able to pick up those grab and go lunches, and I know that I am smiling so much thinking about it because I know all of the wonderful volunteers who just make everybody's day just by being there and putting things together and offering that warm presence. So I think that the school is really doing a great job of that aspect as well. Sarah, I think you covered all of the topics there, and we have like phone numbers and the website links and everything like that we can list. So it'll take you directly there, or you will have a contact person to call if you have more questions. Also, the numbers or information, like I said, on various support groups for different populations. And what else? Any type of safety crisis line or a warm line just to talk. Those are, both locally based and national. So I have information on that. So you can choose what suits you if that's what you need. And there's always something new that we could learn about. So if during the course of this conversation, there is something that are like families and residents here that we missed, or that you'd like more information about, or of something that other people could take advantage of, that's pure gold to us. So please let us know if you have some information. I also just realized that I've been switching back and forth between talking to Britt and Sarah and talking to everybody as you. So I'm talking to everybody, and I'm just excited for that. So please let us know if you know of anything that you'd like to share with everybody. This is prime time for coming together and sharing what we know, sharing what we have. So we appreciate that.
Sure, absolutely. That's why we're doing this, just to inform the community. So you talk to the community, you go for it. Anything else that I didn't ask about that you really think is important that we need to hit on? Again, too, for our listeners, if there's a question you have that perhaps we didn't talk about in this conversation, we will have some kind of Q&A going up on our website with more information, and we can tweak that as necessary. But for the purpose of this conversation, ladies, did I miss anything? Is there anything that we really need to talk more about?
I don't think you missed anything. One of the things that I wanted to mention is I want everyone to know that you don't ever have to have a specific question or very specific thing to talk about to reach out to us. You don't have to have it figured out or have it all tied up with a bow to start a conversation with us. We do our best work, and it feels great to us when we're able to just listen or to just be around as we all kind of sort things out. And a lot of times, this happens for me too. I might think that I have a specific question and go to someone, and then throughout the course of the conversation, it turns out that there's some other things that are helpful for me. So we're available also just to listen and just to talk. So please let us know, both students and parents, grandparents, whoever. Please feel free to reach out and utilize us in that way as well. That really helps us learn more about how we can be better as well and what we need to be looking for. So please feel free to do that. Sometimes, we're not in your house, so it might just be a little bit nice to talk to somebody different than who you're usually talking to during the day. But also we may be familiar to you and your kids, so it might be nice to talk with a familiar face or a familiar voice that your students haven't seen in a while. I know that's nice for us too. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to meet you, whether it's virtually on the phone, in person when school's back in session. We want to get to know you. We want to get to know your students so that they feel comfortable with us. Should something ever come up that they need to talk about or have a problem with, that they feel safe with us and can talk to us. The same for you as well. Something that Maria brought up made me think of one resource that we do have. Everything is, tele everything right now, and that can be a little unnerving, being on a screen, talking to a doctor, talking to your therapist, anyone. So we do have some resources, some worksheets that we can share with you of preparing for a doctor's appointment that you can use as for an online doctor's appointment, therapy appointment. Just like going to the doctor, you might get in there and forget about everything you want to ask because you get distracted. We can practice those with you. I practice with some students of this is what it's going to be like talking to your doctor on screen, and really just decreasing the anxiety about that. So we're also available for all those out of the box kind of things. So
perfect. Well, and, yes.
We are available, both of us, to everyone from the district. So even though we do spend time at different buildings, and we might not be at the same building as much time or things like that, we're available to everybody. So please don't hesitate to reach out or think if you're at the high school that you can't talk to me, and if you're at the elementary or the middle school you can't talk to Sarah. That's just logistics, so we can provide as much coverage as possible, but we're there for everybody. So
awesome. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate you ladies again for joining me here this morning. Like I said, you're new to the podcast, but maybe we'll have you on again, then you won't be so new. But I really hope that this information finds our community well, and I think it's going to be a huge resource, specifically for our listeners. A family and community resource link can be found on the district's COVID-19 information page. Again, we're also working on that, quick hit Q&A to include more information with more resources on that page as well. We can include phone numbers, locations, perhaps not locations. recently. But just more information on that. If you're on a computer, you can find that COVID link right at the top left of the page. Those resources can be found on the right of that page. On a mobile device, it will look a little different, but again, that is all on our website, www.basd.net. And you can find everything there from coronavirus-related information to just about anything else going on at the district. And also come check us out on social media. We have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And because those sites are public, you do not need an account to see our content. So we'd love to have you check out some of that information there as well. Maria, Sarah, appreciate it so much. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.